వెయిట్ చేస్తాడులే. వాడు వెయిట్ చేస్తాడంట.
Hello everyone. I request everyone to please stay with us. We will start the session at 3. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. A very warm welcome to all the parents joining us today. We will be starting the session, A Parent Guides to Growth and Puberty, in just a few minutes. Just stay connected with us. We will start the session exactly at 3:05 until the other members to join. Thank you. लेते हैं।
Hi, Kavita.
Hi, ma'am. Hello. So we'll start the session, ma'am. Shall I start the session? Ma'am, I think we lost you.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. Now we can. So shall I start the session, ma'am?
మనం ఆన్ చేయొచ్చా?
Hello, ma'am. Shall I start the session?
ఎవరన్నా? మనం మ్యూట్ లో పెట్టవా?
నెక్స్ట్ ఏంటి ఏం చేయదు ఏం చేయదు Okay. Once again, very good afternoon. And my name is Kavita. I'm the moderator for today's session. And at Ankura, we are committed to provide care and clinical expert for women and children. As a parent, we always worried, and our child growth is always comes in our mind first. And we know that, and usually as a parent, we often measure our child's growth while marking on the wall or outgrown clothes. But physical growth is actually one of the most significant indicators for a child's overall health. It's a complex process influenced by genetics, nutrition, and most importantly, hormones. Today's session is designed to move beyond the guesswork. We have a very special guest with us today. It is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Monica Reddy, consultant pediatric endocrinologist. She specialized in diagnosing and managing a wide range of endocrine disorders in children and adolescents. Can be consulted for problems like obesity, thyroid disorder, growth concerns, puberty in children. So join our hands to welcome Dr. Monica. Welcome, ma'am. Welcome for this session.
सब करते हैं सब
Over to-
करते हैं नॉर्मल करते
Hello,
हैं
ma'am.
नॉर्मल पतली करते हैं
पानी जैसे
Hello,
होगी
ma'am.
मेरे पानी जैसी भी होती है जैसे करता है
मैं तो वैसे दे दूंगा इनके गोद में दे दीजिए कुछ नहीं करेगा अभी ये हो गए एग्जैक्टली 6 महीने है ना खाना कुछ दे रहे हो नहीं दे रहे
दे रहे
क्या दे रहे
जैसे
Just facing a small network issue. Let me just sort it out. Just give me 2 minutes, please.
Yeah, sure, sure.
बतला बतला दे रहे हैं कुछ खा
क्या कर रहे हैं सिखाया नहीं कुछ
पीछे भी बुला रही है चार गैस निकाल कर बदबू आ रही
चीज बच्चों को पेट में कुछ नहीं No comment to what has to be done. एक ही दवाई दे रहा हूँ एक ही दूध देता हूँ। ये ये ड्रॉप जो है आधा ml सुबह आधा ml शाम को 30 दिन लेना है, बंद कर देना है। 40 थोड़ी बहुत बनेगी तो टूटी हो जाएगी। दूसरी चीज, बच्चे 6 महीने की जो चीजें देते हैं उसमें क्या कर देते हैं, दाल खिचड़ी सूजी इस तरीके की नरम और में कोई भी हार्ड पार्ट नहीं होता है। तो केला या आलू से शुरू कीजिए, एक आधे हफ्ता दे दीजिए, जैसे अच्छे से खाते रहिए, फिर खाने की चीजों पे आ जाइए। फिर एक या 2 बार देना है, ठीक से देने शुरू करिए, पकड़े लाना शुरू कर दीजिए, कोई करने की जरूरत नहीं। हाँ, और कोई सवाल? और कोई सवाल?
नहीं
ये नहीं है
अच्छी नहीं दे देना आप।
और एक जैसे रात को चाय नहीं आए,
Hi, Kavita.
Hi, ma'am.
Yeah, hi, Kavita. Hi.
Hi, ma'am.
I'm
So
extremely
finally, you're back,
apologetic.
so we can continue with the session. And
Yes, yes,
I
please.
already welcomed you, ma'am. So I request everyone to please again join hands with me to welcome Dr. Monica, our consultant pediatric endocrinologist. Ma'am, you can start the session.
Sure, sure. Thank you so much. Can you please share my PPT? So at the onset, I would like to thank all the parents for joining this session today. I hope the discussion will be very fruitful. Please free to ask me questions at any point of this session today, because I want it to be very interactive, that we can clarify all the doubts. And amongst the audience, I see a very good friend of mine, Dr. Neeraj as well. I'm glad. I think you have taken out your time to join today. Thank you. Yeah. So today's so we will be discussing, like, because I face these many questions from parents. Is my child growing normally? Is he short? Why is he not gaining weight? Many questions about puberty, that it's either, like, they're seeing few changes of puberty very early, or like they're happening late. So I thought like this would be a good platform to discuss most of these common parental concerns on their kids. So can you please project the next slide, please?
Sure, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so this is an animation. So I think, yeah, thank you. So the objectives today, I want parents to realize what are the common symptoms in children that are red flags and how to identify them, and also understand when to seek medical care, and just some basic principles of growth and puberty. What is the timeline of growing? What is the timeline of some pubertal changes? So I think this information will help you to be, prepared, and probably answer like some of your anxieties and queries. Yeah, next slide, please. So the common growth concern, the most commonly asked question is my child short? Now, as a parent, like how you can identify if your child is short? Because see, there is a lot of variability. I mean, height is like a factor which depends a lot on the genetics as well. Like, what are the parental heights? What is the familial height pattern? And also a lot on the environment. So, including what is the nutrition of the child, what is his daily exercise activities, and different lifestyle factors. So, there can be a lot of variability. So, if you see that your child is like a little bit shorter or taller compared to other kids in the class, I think that should not worry you much. But if you see that your child is always the shortest in the class, say first or second or third shortest in the class, and always has been so, then I think that is something you should probably meet your doctor. So first thing that I have used the picture here is like if your child is always the shortest in the class. And second, if parents are in the habit of marking the heights of the children at home, if you see that, so usually we say that a child should be growing on average at least 5 centimeters every year till the puberty age. Okay. So if you see that your child is not growing enough, not growing 4 or 5 centimeters in 1 year when you mark against your wall, then I think you should seek medical help. Next slide, please. The other parameter is if you see that same clothes are fitting your child, even after 1 year. So I face questions by parents like, my child is now, say, 8 years old, but still the t-shirt and pant sizes of 6-year-old fits him still. So that could also be one clue that, he's not outgrowing his clothes, right? So if he's not outgrowing his clothes or shoes, then I think you should give it a thought. Why is he not? The fourth point is if you have younger children, or if you see that your children are not growing at the same rate. Like, for example, if you see that the younger child is growing a little faster compared to the older one, and younger child is almost of the same height as your older kid, then I think you should evaluate about your older kid, like why he is not probably gaining his height. Yeah. Next slide, please. So what do you do when you face any of these questions back in your mind? So seek medical help immediately, because I think you should discuss with your pediatrician at the earliest. See, some of the concerns may not be serious. It could be your anxiety, but always, clarifying these things with your pediatrician will always help you. Next slide, please. So what is the routine when you visit a pediatrician? Like what are the things, or what are the formalities that are done? So if you can see, this is just one example of a growth chart. This is a boy's growth chart, which is between 0 to 18 years of age. And you see those some lines on the top, the black lines, and these black lines again in the bottom. So these are the lines on which we plot the height of the child. These are the lines on which we plot the weight of the child. Okay. So these growth charts will be useful to understand whether your child is on the growth chart or he is below the growth chart. So usually when we say the child is short is if that marking as per the age, say this is a 8-year-old child who is probably 110 centimeters or so. So his dot is falling below the red line. Then we think that, yeah, this child is short. So he needs further evaluation. So definitely when you meet your doctor, he'll take your child's height and weight, and he'll plot on this growth chart. And that will help us to understand whether his height and weight are below. Okay. Can you tap next? There is some more data on the right. Yeah. So what next? If we see that, if your doctor sees that your child is short or if your child's weight is less, so he will take in detail all the birth details also, right from the beginning, because many factors might be there, like, what was his birth weight? Did he face any complications during birth? Was there any stay in the NICU? Did he require any medical help back then? Does he have any other medical problems for which he's receiving treatment? And also very important, like both parents' heights will also be measured, because height very much has a genetic component. So usually, like both parents' heights will be taken, and then your child's height will be matched with the parental height. And that gives us also an important clue that if the parents are like a bit tall and the child is like not matching up to their height, then there might be a problem. And the doctor will examine your child completely. And based on all these findings, if there is any test required, like it could be blood test, it could be an X-ray of the left hand, it is called as bone age X-ray, that will be advised. And based on all these reports, if there is a problem, then the appropriate treatment will be initiated for your child to help him grow. Okay. Next slide, please. So this is one basic question, because, parents ask, like, what is needed for a good height gain, or what can we do to make our children grow tall, right? So I would suggest that it's a balance of multiple lifestyle factors. So good food. So it starts with good food and good nutrition, because in today's times where, there is easy accessibility of a lot of junk food, and we see like a lot of small shops nearby the schools as well. So many times parents come and say that, unless we give him any packet of chips or any packet, he doesn't want to go to school. And also, like, because of the online ordering of food platforms, like children want everything like at their fingertips. They want to have like a lot of junk in their diet. So it starts with a good nutrition. And there is no single food that I can say that is only good. Because as you see in this example, it has to be a balanced plate, like all the cereals, rice, roti, chapati, carbohydrate containing food with a good amount of vegetables and a good amount of protein in their diet. So protein, you can see some examples. People eating non-vegetarian food, so eggs and meat and chicken, fishes. And then vegetarian sources of protein are milk, curd, paneer, all the kinds of beans, dals, right? And fruits. Okay, so it has to be a good balanced diet. So please start making small changes. I understand it's very difficult for the kids of this generation to make them understand the importance of healthy food, but I think small changes will definitely go a long way in helping them. So similarly, good food, even sleep is very important because children need minimum 9 to 10 hours of sleep. Younger children need 11 hours of sleep. So it's very important. Like during the sleep, there are like a lot of good hormones which are secreted. Growth hormone is secreted. So it's very important to have a good sleep. So please ensure that your child is not watching too much of TV in the nights. It's best to avoid any TV or mobile phone just before sleeping and let them have a good 9 to 10 hours of sleep. And again, the third point is good exercise. We see that nowadays children are not wanting to go out. They're very much overloaded with their academics, homeworks, tuitions, right? But please ensure that they get at least 1 hour of time to go out and play. And also in between, keep a check what they're playing, because it's not that they're just going out and sitting together and chatting. That is not enough. They have to be like running, playing any sport, or the activity has to be really good. So it has to be a good mix of diet, exercise, good sleep, good healthy habits, and also keep monitoring the height every year, okay, with your pediatrician. So regular health checks. So all these factors are very much needed for an appropriate good height gain. Yeah, next slide, please. Now, this is one question asked, like, are there any nutritious powders or, any health drinks which might make our children grow tall? But there is no such magic supplement, to be honest, because they need all the nutrition from the regular home-based food. So most of all, like, what the most of the marketing campaigns nowadays claim that, you take our supplement and, the children will grow taller, faster, stronger, or whatever. But that is not true. Okay, there is no single magic health supplement. So it has to be a good balance of the home food that is actually going to help them. Yeah, next slide, please. So, okay, so before we go on to the weight criteria, so if there are any questions in the chat box or anyone wants to unmute and ask questions in any language, English, Hindi, Telugu, anything, please go ahead. Anyone?
I wanted to ask one question, ma'am. So,
Yeah.
usually as a parent, we always, worried about the kids' height. So, at
Yeah.
exactly what age do you think
Hmm.
we should worry? Like, this is the milestone or something where
Correct.
we have to
Correct.
worry about. Like, my child is 2 years old, but
Okay.
still he is smaller, for example.
Right.
And when
Right.
we say our child is at 5 years old, but still
Correct.
the height is very less. So can you just
Yes.
tell us about the age, like at what age the parent should be
Yes.
ready?
Correct, correct. That's a very valid question, because at what age is the appropriate age to actually seek medical help? Right, right. So I would say at the earliest, but usually like between 3 to 4 years, we see many children catching up in height. So, so if you see that, he's like really very short, and even like, if your pediatrician marks it as a red flag that, he's very short than the graphs, then, it should be an immediate evaluation. Then you should not wait.
Okay.
But if you see that he's still on the charts, he's comparable to his friends' age group, and that time I think like 3 to 4 years is a good age, because when they actually like, some kids like suddenly grow tall, they catch up with good nutritional changes, or they may catch up. So 3 to 4 years is a good age, I feel.
Okay.
And
So
if you
to
see,
worry or to wait for them to catch up.
so that's what, like if I feel that, your pediatrician will be the best person to tell you whether you need to wait or you need to immediately seek help, because he will be assessing in detail lot of factors, and he will have clues in his mind whether the height is because like, obstructed because of some medical problems, or it is that, there is no medical problem and we could just wait. So,
Okay.
always take the advice of your pediatrician. All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
But yeah, and also like when you want to take any treatment, I would say that the best age where you have to take and finish your treatment is before the puberty age group. Like for example, in girls, I would say before they attain their periods, like because what happens is as they are closer to the puberty, their bones are like growing fast and almost they will be like, finishing their height. So rather than, seeking help at 13, 14 years of age, if you seek help little earlier, as soon as you notice a problem, it gives more time medically to offer help. Yeah.
Okay, ma'am. So any more questions we have related to the heights?
So I guess
I
in the
think we can
chat,
move on to the next segment.
yeah, sure, sure. Now, this is also a common query where we see that, many parents say that is my child's weight good because they see, and especially in the first 3 years of life, we see that, the weight is like not changing too much, right? So, how to understand and know whether your child is gaining enough weight or not? So, yeah, next slide, please. So again, there is this taking help of the graphs again. So this is the graph of BMI, body mass index. So body mass index means like what is, yeah. So body mass index is weight for height. So you can see like here, you can see some colored lines also, right? So first, let me tell you this dot here. If the dot is below the lowermost line, then it means your child is underweight. Okay. And now you see two lines here, like one is the red line and one is the orange line. So if you see a dot here, which is just above the orange line and below the red line, this is overweight. So if your child lies here, it means your child is overweight. And if your child's BMI is above this red line, then it means obesity. So what is appropriate for his weight and like what is the weight appropriate for his height will come to know only by like using the appropriate charts for his height and weight. Yeah. Next slide, please. Yeah. Yeah. Next, please. Okay. So, all right. This is a little bit about the pediatric obesity because we are seeing a lot of children nowadays who are overweight or obese. So, if you see, like, 85% of the reasons are because of lifestyle problems. There is no hormonal issue in majority of them because many times parents are scared that, my child is like gaining weight too much, whether it is because of any hormonal issue or any other problem. But 85% we see that these are like lifestyle related things. Like lifestyle related things is basically how many calories the child is consuming, that many calories he has to burn out with his exercise. So many times we see there is an imbalance. He's taking in more calories, but he's not playing enough. He's not doing any sufficient exercise. So that gradually leads to weight gain. Also, a lot of screen time nowadays, like, just sitting in the sofa in front of TV or taking a mobile and sitting for 3 to 4 hours together. There is no physical activity at all. So these factors need to be like taken care of. And if you see only 5% causes are like endocrine is hormonal causes or any genetic causes or any other medical problems. Okay. So yeah, next slide, please. Yeah, so most of the problems are, yeah. So before we enter into puberty, just one more line about that my child not gaining enough weight. So usually, like, same, your doctor will be plotting on your growth curve, right? On your weight curve. And you may sometimes see that, like, some parents come and say that at 2 years also my child was 10 kg. At 3 years also he's 10.5 kg. So let the doctor evaluate, like, if there is any medical problem. Because many times what happens, usually they gain about ideally they will gain about 1.5 to 2 kg in those, in say, in between second year and third year. And what happens is children's appetite can influence their weight very much. We see a variety of children's eating habits, like some are very picky eaters. So irrespective of how many efforts the parents take, Some children are very much determined that they will have very small portion, or like they don't like the, particular kind of food. They may eat like healthy food, like fruits and lot of eggs and all, but they don't consume enough calories in terms of grains, like no rice, no roti, like that, right? So appetite can influence. And what happens is many times we see that, they have gained a certain weight, and one episode of a bad viral illness, for example, the child loses his appetite for 2 to 3 weeks and he reduces in weight again. Right? So this up and downs keep happening, especially in the first 4 to 5 years of age. So many times your worries on his weight gain may not be like, it's not a serious problem. Right? So just keep doing what you do, like keep giving him healthy food. And if like really the weight loss is happening very fast, then please seek medical help. Please meet your pediatric doctor. Yeah. Next slide, please.
Uh, Ma'am,
Yeah.
before we jump into the third segment about the puberty, I
Yes.
wanted to ask you, like, how important is sleep for growth compared to the food? Because
Correct.
we often say that, if usually what happen in the evening, like our kids doesn't want to eat something and
Correct.
they sleep, they wanted to sleep. So is that
Right.
good? Or else we have to worry, like, and parents wanted to feed their child before,
Hmm.
going to the bed.
Right, right. So food is very important. Food is like, very important compared to sleep, I would say, if you compare both. Because food is giving you calories, calories will determine your growth. So what happens is, like, if suppose it's an afternoon nap, your child wants to sleep for some time, because if he's very sleepy, whatever, he might not be, happy to eat food at that time. So one thing, like, depending on your child's nap time and all, prepare a good schedule for your kid. Like if you know that he usually sleeps around 2 o'clock, then don't space his meal somewhere close to 1:30, because he will be sleepy from that time. Probably you can space your lunch at 12:30 or so, at least 1 hour before his nap time. So a schedule is very important. It's not that we give the food only when the child is hungry, not like that. Keep a schedule, like how we adults have our schedule. We will eat our breakfast, lunch, and dinner at specific times. So kids also
Yes.
should follow that pattern. That is very important, because only if you have a schedule, they will not keep eating in between, and they will not expect, like, any random patterns of food seeking. So I would say that if your child is sleepy, for example, 1:30 or 2 o'clock, your child is sleepy, he doesn't want to eat food, he's very sleepy. Okay, then leave it. For that time, you let him sleep, and after he wakes up, you give him food. But it's not that he should not like miss his food, right? So I think you
Yes,
have to
ma'am.
prepare that schedule. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yes.
now we can go to segment three.
Sure, sure. So meanwhile, if any parents want or have any queries, they can put in the chat box, or even like in the end, I have mentioned my email ID. If anyone wants to post any queries specifically, you can write in the email as well. Yeah. So coming to the next section, is my child entering puberty too soon? So puberty is basically some set of physical and emotional changes, what you see in your child as your child is growing into the teens. Okay, so this phase is called as puberty. Yeah. So next slide, please. Next slide, please. Yeah, thank you. So if you see, this is the timeline for you to just understand, like, what is the normal age where different things happen. So if you see, boys and girls, separately I have mentioned the topmost is for the girls and the bottom box is for the boys. So in girls, usually 8 years is the time when most of the puberty changes start. Okay. So 8 years onwards. So the first change is the breast development. Okay. Then comes the other changes like pubic hair. Then growth spurt. Growth spurt means you see a child who is like entering the puberty phase may show a sudden rise in the height. Okay. So like that. And you see the first period. The first period can happen anywhere between 10 to 16 years of age. All right. Then growth of underarm hair, change in body shape, and adult breast size. So this is the timeline. But please remember that all the changes ideally happen after 8 years of age in a girl child. Now looking at the boy child. So in boys, usually the first changes start after 9 years of age. Okay. So if you can see, the first change in boys is usually growth in the size of testis. Okay, then change in voice, growth in penis size, then pubic hair. Boys have a growth spurt little late. If you see, the girls grow earlier, like the girls grow at about 10 and a half to 11 years of age, and they may grow for 2-3 years in that speed. And once they attain their periods, then the growth slows down. Whereas in boys, they have their growth spurt a little late. They start to grow around 12 and a half to 13 years of age, and then like they grow in that speed for 3 to 4 years, and then their height may slow down by 16 to 17 years of age. So this is the difference. Usually, sometimes like if parents have like one boy and a one girl child, they compare like, the girl has stopped growing, but my boy is still growing, because this is the nature. This is the natural way, like how a girl and a boy grows. Okay. So please remember, if you see any change related to puberty, maybe underarm hair, pubic hair, breast development, periods, anything before 8 years of age, then that is abnormal. Similarly, in boys, if you see any changes before 9 years of age, then that is abnormal. If you see any of these changes, you should immediately consult your pediatrician, okay, or pediatric endocrinologist who deal with the hormones. Yeah. Next slide, please. So this is like, puberty early onset. When we say that the puberty is early, there are some red flag signs which you should please make a note. So as I discussed in the previous slide, like if the breast development is happening in less than 8 years in a girl child, or if the testicular enlargement means the size of the testis is becoming more in less than 9 years in a boy, it is definitely something worrisome. Similarly, like pubic hair, axilla hair, body odor. Sometimes we see that, as the kids are growing, there is change in the body odor. Suddenly they start smelling, or pimples, acne. So everything like less than 8 years in girls or less than 9 years in boys. Similarly, if you see a rapid height spurt also, like, your child has been of a certain height and suddenly you see that he or she is growing suddenly, less than 8 years or less than 9 years in boy, even that might be a sign of early puberty. And also, if you see any vaginal discharge or periods happening in a girl less than 9 years of age. So all these are red flag signs. So if you see any of these signs, then please meet your doctor at the earliest, So what he or she will do, they will first analyze all the details, examine your child. They may order some blood tests, and based on the reports, then the treatment will be offered. Yeah. Next slide, please. Sure. So before we go on to the late puberty section, also maybe one question I would like to just discuss by myself, because some parents of some children who have early puberty, they come and ask like, why early puberties are happening now. I think this is something we must discuss, because many times I listen to parents who say that we have avoided giving eggs, we have avoided milk, we have avoided any kind of poultry products like chicken and all, but still my child is showing signs. So I would like to clarify that, the early puberty is not just related to, food thing. Okay. So there are a lot of environmental factors. We call them hormone disruptors. Okay. And these environmental factors are many others. Like it is not related to just eggs or milk or chicken. So don't like think that these are causing early puberty and you are avoiding. No, you must give eggs, you must give milk, you must give chicken, because this is all offering good protein and other important nutrients for your child for your growth. So don't stop them. Source it from a known source. If you have a person who is having cows or buffaloes, or like, you source it from a person who is reliable. Okay. So environmental factors, what are there is majorly like, for example, there are some plastics, right? So nowadays there is a lot of awareness about not using plastics for food and all, right? So what is happening is these all plastics now has become very micro size, and they are like now absorbed into the soil and the water. So we don't know how many amount of plastics we are consuming. Similarly, pesticides, like, nowadays there is very much heavy usage of pesticides for all vegetables. So these pesticides also have been known to have some hormone disrupting properties. Then cosmetic products, right? Cosmetic products, especially like, the adult cosmetic products should not be used by children at all. Okay. So these are the few things that, the parents should take care. But apart from this, in general, we are seeing a early shift of puberty. Like, for example, if grandmothers used to have puberties at 16 to 17 years of age, like our mothers used to have at 14, 15, like that, every a decade, every 15, 20 years, there is a shift early. And nowadays, like we are seeing that, like probably like between 9.5 to 11 years, like very commonly like that. Okay, but please don't try to blame the food and avoid it. But definitely junk food, please avoid, because junk food, artificial flavors, artificial chemicals in the food, they can have some impact. So go for healthy home-based food only, and give a proper nutrition to the child. Yes. Any questions about early puberties? Anyone? Let me check.
We haven't got any questions, ma'am. So
Yeah.
I have a question that do you think that screen time and lifestyle changes really impacting puberty today?
So not directly. Like for example, I understand where this question comes up from, because parents do say that because of the increased screen time, they are like, exposed to a lot of material. Hmm?
Okay.
So whether that is contributing, but it's not so. It's not that we just because they're aware of certain things makes them like susceptible to early puberty, nothing like that. But screen time, what it is causing is like a lot of sedentary lifestyle, like so screen time is just like children are not moving anywhere, and it's causing overweight and obesity. So definitely children who are overweight or obese, the body may presume that now the child is ready for the puberty changes. So definitely the child, like overweight and obesity, has to be avoided. It can have a predisposing factor for early puberty. So children have to get fitter. Yeah.
Okay, ma'am. So thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for the incredible, insightful
Yeah,
about
just one
the growth.
section we have, ma. Just one
Yes, ma'am.
section. The just before slide is like, when do we say the puberty is happening late? Delayed puberty.
Yeah,
Just the
ma'am. We are
yes.
going to that slide.
Yes, yes, yes. So late puberty, because when do we say that the puberty is happening late? Is basically if there is no breast development by 13 years of age. The next slide, please. Next slide. Yeah, this one. Yes, thank you. So if the child does not have a breast development by 13 years, or the child is not getting her first period by 15 years, then it can be called as late puberty. You must seek help. Similarly, in boys, if you see that by 14 years of age, there are no changes of puberty. So no changes of puberty, basically what I mean is there should be increase in the size of testis. So if there is no increase in the size of testis by 14 years, then that is late puberty. And again, stalled puberty means like the puberty had started, but 2, 3 years have passed and there is no like change in the signs. Okay, like there is no change in the puberty staging. So definitely, if you see that in your boy and in your girl that the puberty changes have not happened by 13 years in girls and 14 years in boys, then you must definitely seek help at the earliest. Okay, yeah, sure.
Okay, ma'am. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would like ask parents, do they have any questions to ask the doctor? They can directly, unmute themselves and ask the questions to doctor. So before they ask any questions, ma'am, so I would like to, bust the myth and fact about the height, puberty, and the weight. So I have few questions. So you just let
Yeah.
me know whether it's a myth or a fact. So
Okay.
drinking more milk guarantees taller height. Myths or fact?
It's a myth.
It's a myth. Okay. So because every parents they give milk to their kids for a stronger bone, and they think that if the stronger bone and they can increase their height. So it's a myth, I guess.
It's a myth. It's a myth. Yeah.
Okay. So the second one is stretching exercise can increase height after puberty.
No, after puberty, it can't. But before puberty, it's not just stretching exercises. It can be any exercise. Okay. It's not just like, because many times, like parents ask, like, if you hang by the monkey bar, will
Yes,
that
yes.
increase height more? Or if you're into basketball where you're jumping more, will that
Correct.
increase? It's nothing like that. Like there is no specific exercise or stretching activity that will boost the height. But overall, in general, any form of exercise does boost the growth hormone. All right.
Okay.
And it could be
Okay.
anything like swimming or any kind of sport activity or anything. So the basic thing is the child has to be active in some form of exercise or sports or dance or something. He has to be active. So that will boost height. Now, again, after puberty, nothing can, change the height, because I do see some parents coming to me after the girl has attained her periods. And then they ask, like, ma'am, now periods have been attained. Like, if she does more exercise, will she grow? But it's not like that, because if the girl has attained her periods, it means 95% of her height is complete now.
Okay.
So no form of exercise or activity is actually going to make her grow taller beyond her actual limit what she has.
Okay. Okay. So the last one is late bloomers always catch up.
Right, right. So late bloomers. So late bloomers is a term especially seen in boys. Like, for example, say in a class, in a 10th standard class, we see that 80 to 85% of the boys have already grown in height, and they already have some pubertal features which have come in, like, slight mustache, slight beard, voice changes have come in. But 15 to 20% of the boys have not, changed at all. Neither they have grown in height, nor any puberty changes have started. Okay, 15 to 20% of the boys. But then they grow later in the college years, like probably in 11th or 12th standard, they suddenly grow tall, they suddenly develop the puberty changes. So this set of, children are called as late bloomers. So this also needs to be, properly examined by a doctor to understand whether it is just a late bloomer whom we can, just leave it and he will catch up in height later, or is it any medical problem underlying which is like stopping him to grow. Okay, so 14 years is the time period when I think parents should get, really, they should seek medical help. Like, if by 14 years they're seeing that the child is not developing any puberty features or even height also there is no growth, then they should seek medical help. They should not just leave it that late bloomer, he'll grow later, not like that.
Okay. So the ma'am next question is which matters more for growth, genetic or nutrition?
Okay, so genetic is definitely not going anywhere because you are born with your genetics. Okay. So even, like when the baby is born, the one length of a finger is also determined already in your DNA. Okay. So you cannot stretch yourself beyond that genetic potential. So genetics is definitely, I would say, very significant in determining your final height. But nutrition also has a role, because we do see that in children who have a poor nutrition, right? Usually, like some children coming from the villages where the weight and height both are very low. So nutrition does have a, effect on the height. Okay, so I would say both, but genetics are more influential in the height because everything, length or height of a person is already determined in your genetics. But nutrition can change it temporarily. Like when you are on a very poor nutrition, you will not grow enough. But if again there is a period that you are again working on your child's nutrition and trying to give him healthier diet and he is starting to eat healthy, in 6 months or 1 year, you will see that whatever height he has lost, he's catching up again. Yeah.
Okay, ma'am. So I would like to ask you one very this question, because a parent doesn't know when to go to a general pediatrician and when to go to a pediatric endocrinologist. So
Right.
when should a parent should go shift from a general pediatrician to a pediatric endocrinologist?
Okay, okay. See, most of the times I think because they will be following up with their pediatrician. So pediatrician only will refer if he thinks there is a problem with the hormones or he needs special help. He will definitely refer to the pediatric endocrinologist. There are few conditions, like especially I would say pertaining to the puberty, especially because sometimes parents are in a dilemma, especially with the girl child, whether to go to a pediatrician, whether to go to a gynecologist, or whether to go to a pediatric endocrinologist.
Correct, correct.
So, especially the puberty changes, I would say that parents can meet a pediatric endocrinologist immediately. Height, weight, I would say that, you be in touch with your pediatrician. when there is a phase that there is really no difference in the height gain over 6 months, I'm sure your pediatrician only will refer, or you can meet an endocrinologist also directly.
Okay, okay. So before we wrap up, ma'am, what should be your single message to the parents who
Hmm.
keep asking, is my child growing normally?
Right, right. So my message is to the most parents is your child usually does well. I think it's a wonderful thing that you are always anxious about your child. I think that is the nature, human nature,
Correct.
that that we are always anxious. Even because sometimes I see even a child is very chubby and the parent will come and say, "Oh, he's not gaining weight." So, that's the love of the parent for the child, always we think. But definitely, I would say that parents are the first doctors of their kid. So, when there is a problem, parents have that insight that something is wrong. So, always go by your insight. And if you feel really that, your child is not growing normally, without wasting time, you should seek medical help.
Yes.
Yeah?
Ma'am,
And
that you likely said. So, as a parent, we worried about when our child is not eating and they are thin. They feel like, नहीं मेरा बच्चा तो नहीं है मोटा. Like they will not
hmm,
accept
sorry. Yeah, sorry, Kavita. Can
it.
you
Like
please
they
repeat?
are, overweight.
Hmm.
So I was saying that being a parent, like Indian parent, mostly that they won't agree that my child is overweight. So
Yes,
for a mother, the kids is like saying, "नहीं मेरा बच्चा मोटा नहीं है." So this
right.
underweight is okay. They will go and seek medical help. But when it
Yes,
comes to the overweight, he doesn't go and seek medical help. They won't
correct,
accept it, right?
correct,
So at
correct.
that time, like, what your message to the parent? Like they should go to the medical and then they have to check it, like whether they are underweight or the overweight.
Yes, yes, that's important because see, like usually chubby kids may be overweight, but the delay in accepting that the child is overweight itself may lead further weight gain, and the child may become from overweight to obese in no time, right? And obesity in children also like results in a lot of complications because all this the adult problems like diabetes, hypertension, knee problems and all, they are no longer just restricted to adults. Even in teenagers, we are seeing these issues early. So definitely, like, the parents should be aware that, like the child's height and weight has to be tracked properly every year.
Correct,
And
correct.
there are like, growth charts which tell you whether your child's weight is in the overweight zone or obese zone. And you must take appropriate steps because if you realize that there is a problem, you will take positive steps to correct it so that, your child is healthy as an adult also and there are no future problems.
Yes, yes. So thank you so much, ma'am. And I would like to ask parents, do they have any questions to ask related to height, weight, and puberty?
Madam, I have a one question, madam.
Yeah,
Yeah,
ma'am.
yeah.
Uh, uh, in type 1 diabetes ఉన్న పిల్లలకి సో
Yeah.
ఇన్సులిన్ తీసుకుంటాం కదా దానివల్ల ఏమన్నా హైట్ వెయిట్ కి ఏమన్నా ఎఫెక్ట్ పడుతుందా?
అచ్చా ఇన్సులిన్ తోని హైట్ వెయిట్ లో ఎఫెక్ట్ పడదమ్మా ఎందుకంటే ఇన్సులిన్ ఏంటి అంటే మన బాడీలో ఏదైతే ఇన్సులిన్ ఉత్పత్తి అవుతుందో దానికి చాలా సమానంగా చేసిన ఇన్సులిన్ అన్నమాట. బట్ హైట్
ఓకే
వెయిట్ ఎప్పుడు ఎఫెక్ట్ అవుతాయి అంటే బ్లడ్ షుగర్ కంట్రోల్ సరిగ్గా లేక ఎప్పుడైతే హెచ్బిఏవన్సీ లెవెల్స్ ఎప్పుడు ఎక్కువగానే ఉంటాయి కదా. సపోజ్ ఐడియల్ గా హెచ్బిఏవన్సీ ఏంటి 6.5 to 7.5 మధ్యలో మెయింటైన్ చేయగలగాలి.
ఓకే
కానీ హెచ్బిఏవన్సీ ప్రతిసారి 9, 10 అలాగే ఉంటుంది అంటే అదేం చేస్తుంది అంటే ఆ ఎక్సెస్ షుగర్ కండిషన్ అనేది బాడీ హైట్ వెయిట్ ని హ్యాంపర్ చేస్తుంది అనమాట. సో
ఓకే
బ్లడ్ షుగర్స్ బాగా అతిగా హై ఉన్నప్పుడు వెయిట్ లాస్ ఎక్కువ అవుతుంది అంటే వెయిట్ అసలు పెరగరు ఇంకా కరెక్ట్
వెయిట్ పెరగరు ఓకే
వెయిట్
సో
పెరగరు.
టైప్ 1 డయాబెటీస్ పిల్లల్లో నేను ఎక్కువ ఒబిసిటీ చూస్తా ఉంటాను ఎందుకని మేడం అది అసలు కొంతమంది పిల్లలు నాట్ అందరూ
అందరు కాదు కొంతమంది పిల్లలండి ఏంటి అంటే ఒక్కొక్కసారి ఇన్సులిన్ డోసింగ్ అనేది వాళ్ళ వెయిట్ తగ్గట్టుగా కరెక్ట్ గా సరిపోవాలండి. ఇప్పుడు ఒక బాబు సే 20 కిలోలు ఉన్నాడంటే తన ఇన్సులిన్ 20 యూనిట్స్ కంటే తక్కువ ఉండాలి. బట్ కొన్ని సార్లు ఏం చూస్తున్నామంటే 25-30 యూనిట్స్ తీసుకుంటారు కదా హై ఇన్సులిన్ కూడా తీసుకుంటారు కొంతమంది. ఎక్కువ
ఓకే
ఇన్సులిన్ తీసుకున్నప్పుడు ఆకలి ఎక్కువ పెరుగుతుంది. ఆకలి ఎక్కువ పెరిగేసరికి కార్బోహైడ్రేట్స్ ఎక్కువ తీసుకుంటారు. మళ్ళీ కార్బోహైడ్రేట్స్ ఎక్కువ తీసుకునేసరికి బ్లడ్ షుగర్స్ ఎక్కువ పెరిగేసరికి ఇంకా ఎక్కువ ఇన్సులిన్ తీసుకుంటారు. సో ఇదొక విషియస్ సైకిల్ అయిపోతుంది అనమాట. సో అలా లైక్ అంటే ఎందుకు వెయిట్ పెరుగుతారు అనేది కార్బోహైడ్రేట్స్ వాళ్ళ ఏజ్ వెయిట్ తగ్గట్టుగా ఎక్కువ తీసుకున్నప్పుడు ఓవర్ వెయిట్ అయిపోతారు పిల్లలు.
ఓవర్ వెయిట్ అయిపోతారు. సో
ఉమ్.
ఇప్పుడు ఇన్సులిన్ ఎప్పుడు కూడా మనము ఆ ఏజ్ కి తగ్గట్టే మనం మెయింటైన్ చేయాలి,
Correct,
ఎక్కువ
correct.
ఇవ్వకూడదు వాళ్ళు.
అవును
ఇప్పుడు
అవును.
పిల్లలు హంగ్రీ అంటారని చెప్పేసి వాళ్ళకి మనం ఎక్కువ ఇన్సులిన్ ఇవ్వడం వల్ల ఎక్కువ ఫుడ్
అవును.
తింటారు, అంతే కదా
ఎక్కువ
మేడం?
ఫుడ్ తింటారు కదండి అలా. సో పిల్లలు జనరల్ గా హంగ్రీ అన్నప్పుడు ఏంటి అంటే మనం కొంచెం కంట్రోల్డ్ గా స్నాక్స్ టైం ఉన్నప్పుడేమో మినిమం పెట్టాలండి. బట్ ఆ స్నాక్ తిన్నాక కూడా మళ్ళీ ఒక గంటకు వచ్చి హంగ్రీ అన్నారంటే మనం మళ్ళీ ఒక స్నాక్ రిపీట్ చేసామంటే కార్బ్స్ ఎక్కువ అయిపోతాయి కదా. సో అప్పుడు
అవును.
ఏదైనా ప్రోటీన్ అన్నా లేకపోతే కొంచెం లో కార్బ్ ఉన్న ఫుడ్ పెడితే నయం అలా.
ఓకే 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 మేడం. అలాగే మా పాపకి టైప్ 1 డయాబెటీస్ మేడం, మేము ఆస్ట్రేలియాలో ఉంటాము.
ఓకే అండి, ఓకే ఓకే, షూర్ షూర్.
సో ఇన్సులిన్
ఎంత
పంపు
అమ్మా?
మేడం,
ఏజ్ ఎంత పాపది?
ఏజ్ 10 కంప్లీట్ అయ్యి 11 ఇయర్స్ మేడం.
ఓ 10 కంప్లీట్ అయ్యి 11.
తనకి
Okay.
5
Yes.
ఇయర్స్ అప్పుడు వచ్చింది. అది కూడా ఇండియా వచ్చామన్నమాట హాలిడేస్ కి. సో
Okay అండి.
అప్పుడే డయాగ్నోస్ అయిందనమాట, ఇక్కడ ఏం డయాగ్నోస్ అవ్వలేదు. సో 1 month లో మేము బ్యాక్ వచ్చేసి ఇక్కడ
ఓకే అండి. ఇన్సులిన్ పంప్
చేసామన్నమాట.
వాడుతున్నారా? ఓకే.
ఇన్సులిన్ పంపు వాడుతున్నాము. సో అన్ని అండర్ కంట్రోల్లో ఉందన్నమాట. మాకు డయాగ్నోస్ అయినప్పుడు H1BC మాకు 8.9 సంథింగ్ ఉందన్నమాట.
ఓకే అండి, ఓకే
సో
ఓకే.
తర్వాత మేము ఎప్పుడైతే ఇంజెక్షన్స్ స్టార్ట్ చేసామో ఇక్కడ 1 year వరకు మేము పంప్ తీసుకోలేదు.
ఓకే అండి, ఓకే
సో
ఓకే.
మాకు పంపు గురించి అంత అప్పుడు అసలు మాకు ఎవరికి డయాబెటీస్ లేదన్నమాట. సో
ఓకే అండి.
డయాబెటీస్ గురించి అసలు అవగాహనే లేదు మాకు.
కరెక్ట్
సో
కరెక్ట్
ఇటు
అండి.
నా సైడ్ పేరెంట్స్ కానీ మా హస్బెండ్ సైడ్ పేరెంట్స్ కి ఎవరికి లేదు.
Hmm.
దానివల్ల ఏమైందంటే పాపకు వచ్చేసరికి మాకు అసలు ఏమి అర్థం కాలేదు. ఒక 1 year పట్టింది మేము అసలు అందులో నుంచి బయటకు
అవునండి,
రావడానికి.
కరెక్ట్ అండి.
సో
అవును.
తర్వాత ఇక్కడ పిల్లలకి చాలా బాగానే కేర్ తీసుకుంటారు మేడం.
అవునండి, గుడ్ గుడ్. ఓకే అండి.
తర్వాత స్లోగా మేము 8.9 అలా 7.8 వచ్చిన తర్వాత ఇప్పుడు 2 years అయింది పంపు పెట్టి. సో ఇప్పుడు
ఓకే
వచ్చేసి
అండి.
6. లాస్ట్ ట్యూస్డే టెస్ట్ అయినా మేడం 6.5 కి వచ్చిందనమాట.
ఓ వెరీ గుడ్ అండి, గుడ్ కంట్రోల్ కదా.
యా ఆఫ్టర్ పంప్ ఈజ్ వెరీ గుడ్ మేడం.
వెరీ గుడ్ కంట్రోల్. అవునండి, హైట్ వెయిట్ అన్ని బాగానే క్యాచ్ అప్ అవుతుంది.
హైట్ వచ్చేసి 34.5 సంథింగ్ ఉంది.
Okay,
వెయిట్ వచ్చేసి
ఓకే ఓకే.
హైట్ కూడా నేను డాక్టర్ని అడిగాను అనమాట. యాక్చువల్ గా అడిగితే మీకేం ప్రాబ్లం లేదు, తను నార్మల్ గానే ఉంది.
అదే
నాకు
అండి.
ఇద్దరు ట్విన్స్
Good, good.
అన్నమాట. సో అదర్
Okay
బేబీకి
అండి.
ఏం లేదు, షీఈ్ ఫైన్.
ఓ
సో
నైస్ అండి.
ఇద్దరు సమానంగానే ఉన్నారు, ఏమి తనకి ఇద్దరికి
Okay.
ఏం ప్రాబ్లమ్ అలా ఒకళ్ళు
Right,
ఎక్కువ
right.
ఒకళ్ళు తక్కువ ఏం లేదు.
ఓకే.
దానివల్ల మన స్కూల్లో చూసినట్లయితే వీళ్ళకంటే ఎక్కువ హైట్ ఉన్న పిల్లలు ఉన్నారు, వీళ్ళకంటే తక్కువ హైట్ ఉన్న పిల్లలు ఉన్నారు
అలాగే
కాబట్టి.
అండి కదా. అవును అవును. అండ్ జనరల్
సో
గా కొంచెం
దానివల్ల నేనేమన్నా ఇన్సులిన్ వల్ల ఏమన్నా పిల్లల హైట్ వెయిట్ ఏమన్నా ఎఫెక్ట్ అవుతుందా అది ఇది అని అనుకున్నాను.
లేదమ్మా, అలా అయితే ఏం లేదు
Thank
కదా.
you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. We have another questions from Leela. Leela, you wanted to ask one question, right? You can ask the doctor.
ఓకే, థ్యాంక్ యూ మేడం, థ్యాంక్ యూ సో
ఆల్
మచ్.
రైట్ అండి, వెల్కమ్. షూర్.
Hi, ma'am. Thanks for your question. Ma'am,
Yes,
I just want to know what might be the reason if baby is having well-balanced meat but not taking the proper way.
Baby is having what, ma? Sorry.
Well-balanced diet. Like
Acha, baby is
protein
having a
rich and
balanced diet. Okay, ma. Okay, okay.
But-
How old?
but
How
not-
old is the baby?
5 years.
5 years. Okay, ma. Okay. Is your baby very active? Like too much of playing, jumping all the time?
Yes, ma'am. He's very
Okay, ma.
active and height is also propped up to the mark, but he is not gaining the weight. He's under
Okay, ma. Sure.
13.7.
Correct, correct. So not gaining the weight must sometimes, like again, like sometimes it could be like I see sometimes genetic factors also. Like for example, if both the parents or one of the parent has been like lean at the same age, right? So children can also continue to be lean till their puberty age, like till 12, 13 years of age, they don't have like much fat building up. Okay. So one thing that, second, like this age group, 1 to 5 years of age, they're very, very hyperactive group. So they don't sit at one place and they're continuously playing. So what we see is they, in spite of taking a good balanced diet, sometimes probably the calories are not enough for them, right? So see, your balanced diet can have a good mix of fruits also, everything. But if the child is not having, say the carbohydrate quantity enough, carbohydrate comes from cereals like rice or roti.
Tomato ketchup add laga. ముందు
Yeah. So in that case, if the calories are not balancing the output, how much the child is active and spending his calories. So that time also we may see that, the weight is constantly like just around the same. But if the child is active, usually me as well as like most pediatricians will not will always reassure the parents like not to worry if the child is active. But then like at least like after 5 years of age, every year the child should be gaining 2.5 kgs per year at least.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you, Monica Garu. Do we have any other questions? So
Sure.
I guess that's all for today, ma'am.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
if you got any questions, you can always DM to us and like our page. And that's all for today, I guess, ma'am. So thank
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for the insightful session. And I think like every parent now remember that every child grow at their own pace. So
Right.
and they don't have to, navigate that journey alone because we are there to help you out. So stay
Yes.
safe and have a very wonderful weekend. Thank you so much, ma'am. And I would like to thank each and participants who joined us today. So thank you, parents, for this making this session very successful. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
madam.
you all.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank
Thank
you
you
Yeah.
so
so
much.
much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Take care, everyone. Thank you, Kavita.
Thank you, ma'am.